Hey team, just a very quick video to show you inside the Keep the Change content bank that the people within the Keep the Change community have access to. At the moment, it's $87 to get access to that, and the money's used basically to run some advertising to help grow the Money Mail list. So I think we've got about 25 people in there at the moment. So big thank you to them to help support what we're doing. And I know they've got a lot out of the content that's already in there, and then being in a separate community where they can ask some questions and whatnot and explain what they're hoping to learn and hoping to achieve, which then helps me and a couple of other people generate some content that everybody can value from and learn from. So, a couple of people asking, well, what's actually in there? So I just thought I'd do a bit of a run through of some of the content. So if I just come back over here, show you, you'll be able to see there are a number of folders here. So obviously the introduction, and that just sets the scene of how everything works. And there's a business side hustle topic, which I think is very important for people to understand how they can use the tax system to their advantage, because it is very limited when you're just using PAYE. Then some information on credit and consumer cards and how they work. Debt, of course, Kiwisaver, lessons, New Zealand taxes, past emails, saving money, tools and templates, which you already have access to, and wealth. So these get added to basically every week as we come across information that's going to help you, or as I get creative and want to start writing. But I think, for instance, in the debt folder, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 topics for you to get through, and it explains how rental debt works and paying off a 15K grand credit card, offset mortgages, how they work, mortgage holidays, good debt, bad debt, and equity. So this is written by a mortgage advisor, actually explaining step by step how you use one property to buy your second property. So some very, very helpful stuff in there. Offset mortgages has the ability to save people years and years of mortgage repayments and interest. So very, very valuable content throughout these. And the lessons is probably my favorite folder. It's basically got a heap of my life lessons, and also people that I know and trust and have done some pretty cool things to improve their money situation. So I've asked them to reteach some of their favorite lessons, and we got Mikey's money mindset there, which is a really good read and long read. One of my mates has got 7 kids, so I said, well, how the hell do you do that? So there's a bit of that. There's a bit on compounding, which is very important for people to understand, especially in terms of Kiwisaver and compounding growth, compounding contributions. What happens when you buy useless shit? It's a pretty small document, that one, about basically don't do it. How to ask for a pay rise and do it successfully, and things like swapping expenses for income, and where our money lessons actually come from, and how to break some of those, and habits around good habits and bad habits, and all sorts. So there's plenty in the lessons folder. And then saving money, it's got a awesome set of things that we're not often taught. So average New Zealand income, and then the 6-figure income, which you would have seen through Money Mail, but compound saving. So that's a concept basically where every month or every time you save, you increase the amount you save by 10%. So it steps out how to do that, and what that looks like over the course of a year. And then a bit of a brief as to why we don't have money in terms of New Zealanders, and why our net worth is quite low, and just some thoughts around that, and some saving strategies around saving 42% of your income, which is really, really tough. But one of Grant Cardone's suggestions, and I've personally tried that and never saved more money. So that is a goodie. And the rule of 72, which was on the Facebook page the other day, inside the business and side hustle page, there is a good description around building a shit hits the fan account. So anybody can do that. You don't need to be in business to do that, but it's very common to be used in business, to like a rainy day account. And then some information around buying a franchise. And a lot of people looking to move to be a contractor and be self-employed, etc. So things to think about if you're going to go and do that. And then some side hustle tax benefits. So explaining things like buying your phone, how that can be an expense to you rather than a cost that you pay after your PAYE income. So how the tax system can be used in your favor. So each of these folders basically has some information to help you learn, and people have been working through it how they want. I've got an awesome series here under Wealth around basically stuff that are series where they interviewed millionaires and how they made their first million. So there's a list of all of those articles that I could find, and some cool stuff around wealth and what percentage of money is held by what percentage of people, and things like that. So under Kiwisaver, there is a explanation of how you make sure you get the $520 contribution from the government, how you do it yourself. I personally manage my own Kiwisaver, which a lot of people don't know about. And for those of you watching, I can see there's a few people watching. Here's an email from me basically trying to manage my own Kiwisaver, and they didn't let me take the stock that I wanted to, and it's actually cost me $230,000. So that's a massive pain point for me, but I'll probably only talk about that about a billion other times. But this is my Kiwisaver, managed by myself from 2014 through to 2019. So I basically stopped contributing and managed to double the value of my own Kiwisaver, so 100% return. I'm not claiming to be a stock market guru or Kiwisaver expert, but I think it is important that people do realize there are other options than just the shit that gets shoved down your throat, and you need to educate yourself to figure out how to use those things to your advantage. But unless somebody tells you, you would never know. So a bit there about Kiwisaver, and like I say, this is just getting continuously added to, and as people ask more questions, we'll continue to answer those, and people in the Keep the Change community can put their hand up and say, hey, I want some help with this. Does anybody know who can help? So there we go, a bit of a run through of that. No doubt there's something in there that will make you your $87 back very quickly. The $87 is just a figure I plucked out of thin air, basically, and it will increase in time as this becomes bigger. But as we're still at the very small growing stages, it's just there to test people's appetite as such, and then funnel it back into helping grow Keep the Change and do some of the cool stuff that we want to do along the way. So thank you to the 25 people that have jumped in there. If you do want to, then you can go to keepthechange.co.nz/sign. It's keepthechange.co.nz/sign, and sign up to it, basically. But if you need that, then just sing out. Right, we'll see you tomorrow.